Today's Scrap Codex book summary is Shadowsun, The Patient Hunter by Phil Kelly. This is a Tau novel about the confrontation between the Farcast commander, Shadowsun, and the Death Guard Legion, taking place in the Frontier Imperium space near the Startide Nexus. The novel begins with Shasera, better known as Shadowsun, leading a Firecast team on the planet Vrio in the Chalnath Expanse. The inhabitants of the hive cities on the planet have recently turned away from Tauva philosophy and become plague cultists of Nurgle. Using gunship bombardment, Shadowsun swiftly takes care of the insurgency by collapsing the hive cities, resulting in their inhabitants being devoured by the dangerous fauna of the planet. This swift and merciless destruction of Nurgle's cult makes the Death Guard take notice of Commander Shadowsun. A day later, she attends the Elemental Council of the Nemyar Atoll, a region of Frontier Imperium space that is colonized by the Tau Empire. She briefs the council of an impending danger in the form of the Death Guard fleet approaching the Startide Nexus, a vortex of stable dimensional pathway between the Nemyar Atoll and the Tau Empire. During the council meeting, Commander Surestrike of the Fourth Sphere Expansion offers his own experience with such forces from when he was trapped in the warp. He tells the council that the warp has malevolent entities that attacked the non-Tau races, especially ones with psychic potential. When he reveals to the council that none of the races survived, Ofik Tak, the Kroot Shaper, accuses Surestrike of making sure that those races didn't survive and openly attacks him, an action for which he is promptly removed from the council chambers. After the council convenes, Commander Surestrike's second-in-command approaches Shadowsun and suggests that she talks to Tak, Kroot Shaper, about his version of events. Shadowsun decides to heed the advice and infiltrates a fortress complex on the world of Pakun, where the Kroot Shaper is being held in custody. Upon speaking to him, Tak reveals that Commander Surestrike led a campaign of xenocide against any psychically capable individual and any race who worship the greater good as a religion. Before Tak can share anything further, Shadowsun is informed that strange aircraft have arrived at the fortress complex and are disembarking humans. Shadowsun frees Tak from the holding cell. Using her drones, she receives visuals of the newly arrived humans who are sleepwalking. She then sees that the landed sleepwalkers proceed to attack the Pakun military. Death Guard troops also land on Pakun and begin to spread Nurgle's garden by raising demonic trees. They are led by Warlord Glurtosk, who is looking to hunt down Shadowsun. Meanwhile, Commander Shadowsun joins her subordinates and engages the human sleepwalkers, who are rapidly increasing in number by infecting humans and Tau alike. Tau troops dig in and wait for reinforcements while getting ready to exfiltrate as the fortress complex is entirely overrun by the sleepwalkers. The Death Guard troops arrive at the fortress, engaging with the defensive line. Shadowsun attempts to finish them off, but fails. Her suit is disabled, and she falls off the fortress complex. She lands in the fortress's moat and is attacked by sleepwalkers and plague bearers. While fighting for her life, she is aided by the arrival of the Kroot Shaper Ofik Tak, and together they fight their way to the back of the trench. They decide to collapse the moat's bridge by destroying its structural support. The bridge collapse brings the Death Guard into the trench as well, but Shadowsun and Ofik Tak climb out of the moat so the Tau can bombard the Death Guard with their Manta missile destroyers. But they are driven away by the Death Guard's Chaos Sorcerer. Forced to improvise, Shadowsun lures the forces of Nurgle into the fortress's maze and leads them to an ambush laid by the Tau forces, killing most of the pursuers, including a Death Guard Terminator whom Shadowsun kills herself. As she retreats with her troops in an Orca aircraft, the Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle uses the body of the fallen Terminator and Sleepwalkers to create a giant demonic construct that pursues them. Shadowsun manages to destroy the construct by evacuating everyone from the Orca and ramming the aircraft into the construct. Tau continue their evacuation, and Shadowsun is contacted by Commander Surestrike when she and her subordinates reach Pikun spaceport. who advises her to bombard the entire surface of the planet to eliminate the Death Guard and the infections of Nurgle. Lacking any other options, she gives the go-ahead, and the Tau Navy begins bombarding Pekun's surface. While she is recovering from the wounds and ailments from her battle against the Death Guard, the entire sector is embroiled in warfare, with Gene Stealer uprisings and Orcs' wogs overstretching the Tau military. Shadowsun asks the Ethereal of the Nemyar Atoll permission to lure the Death Guard ship into a trap, but is denied on the basis that her previous ambushes have failed so far and only let the Death Guard advance further. She is stripped of her command of the defense of the Nemyar Atoll, which is given to Commander Surastrike. She is ordered to not waste any more Tau lives and to recuperate. After the council, Shadowsun escapes the ship while still wearing her healing suit, thereby not disobeying the council's command. She gathers a team of non-Tau followers of the greater good, consisting of the Nikasar named Ven Tarega, a psychic bear species, a Charpactin named Ahaya, a fungal species capable of emitting mind-altering lights, and the Kroot shaper Ophik Tak. The four of them steal a stealth vessel and ram it into the Death Guard ship for boarding. During their assault to the bridge of the Death Guard ship, Shadowsun learns that the Charpactin can cure the Sleepwalker plague. This discovery comes in handy when Ahaya disarms and cures the Death Guard's bridge thralls. Despite their initial success, they are unable to assassinate the Death Guard warlord Glurtosk and are instead overrun, resulting in Charpactin, Ahaya, being killed. In desperation, Shadowsun breaches the hull of the ship, causing the bridge to decompress, resulting in herself and her team to be vented out to deep space. Shadowsun and her drones manage to keep her squad alive, who are rescued by the Tau Navy. She is reinstated as commander because Shorestrike's commands were deemed counterintuitive to survival. She learns that the Tau have started curing the Sleepwalker plague using the Charpactin's mind-altering bioluminescence. Meanwhile, the warlord Glurtosk experiences loss of troop morale, resulting in a mutiny among the Death Guard, with most of the ships leaving his fleet. He decides that he alone will carry forward, and makes his way to the Startide Nexus's wormhole and goes through it, with intentions of entering Tau space. The novel ends with the reveal that Glurtosk's ship is mysteriously suspended in warp, instead of safely going through the wormhole. He finds his ship is held in place by Tauva, the goddess of the greater good, a multi-limbed, faceless entity with talons the size of battlecruisers. Glurtosk's mind comes apart when he gazes onto the vision of the goddess. Thank you for joining us on this longer than usual book summary. Let us know if you enjoyed it.